So I'm going to pop out now and give you a little demonstration of how the system works. Here is the login screen. We have some content available for you without having to register. Unfortunately, we don't have open registration on the system. I'm going to show you the sample ePortfolio to just show you an example of a finished product. This is a so-called profile page, so everyone has one of these, and they're typically available for other people on the system if they're curious who the person is. Within that, though, you can have any number of other pages, and what I've got here is a sample portfolio, and this is actually a fictional person that we've set up to help people model their portfolios. And this might be a page that he would have up as a generic professional page without reference to a particular job. Our story we concocted for this person is the idea of a young immigrant from the Philippines, well educated but unqualified because he left an undergraduate engineering program to immigrate to Canada. So now he's trying to find a place for his skills while he works on his eventual qualification. So very simply laid out page. I have it set up in columns here. Kind of a centerpiece is where we have a little introduction video. It's called About Me. I'll just play that a bit.
Hello, my name is Romwell Paragas. My family and I arrived in Manitoba in April 2010 as provincial nominees from the Philippines. I was 6 credits short of graduating with a Bachelor of Electrical Engineering from the University of Siquijor in Manila when my immigration papers came through. I have decided to pursue employment as an apprentice power electrician.
Okay, so I'm not going to play all that. I'll give you a path to come back to here, and you can look at that. But I just want, basically the idea is to get across an impression of yourself. Applications out there such as LinkedIn have made it more expected that people should provide pictures of themselves, and applications such as YouTube and the video resumes on YouTube make us expect these kinds of things more. So we're trying to model this for people. So you might have some also some evidence from their resume. You definitely have a downloadable resume there, so they'd be able to, the prospective employer would be able to download it and print it, share it, but you're bringing out things like contact information, educational background. This is something I think that's quite important, and the idea of providing authentic evidence that you are who you say you are and you know what you say you know. So this is a bit of a history from his background in the Philippines working in technical facilities. He's trying to get a job in the electronics manufacturing industry, and he was involved in quality inspection in the Philippines, and this helps demonstrate him. There's a picture that's him there in that group and him in this group. And if he tells a little story about it, again, that just builds up his credibility. The other thing I want to show you here is the so-called certificate gallery. These are example certificates. They're not actually real certificates, but if you have certificates, it's a great way to demonstrate that you do have them. So that would be one page. And you don't want to give too much information at once on a portfolio page, so that's why we're keeping this down in terms of material. If the employer is interested, they can look at more information about this person. What are their career goals? What are their essential skills? What are their academic goals? What other evidence do they have? So here we show a little movie using a free tool where Romuald demonstrates his knowledge of statistical process control.
Okay, so what we have here is a typical X bar R control chart. So we use this as an SPC tool to monitor the variability of a particular process. So as we could see on this sheet here, you could write down the process itself, the device or the measuring device you're using, the operator, the date, and the limits.
So I don't want to play the whole video for you again, but I just wanted to show you how that works. So that's great. He has the evidence, and actually if we go back, he has a wide diversity of multimedia evidence in there. And again, it's just to give people ideas, and I'll just show you here some examples of this. So it could be, again, just him talking, or it could be things like inspecting a circuit board. So
what I have here is a digital input board, or DIB, and we are going to inspect the board and look for defects. So the way I'll do it is look at the top side first and go through the major.
okay, again, I'm not trying to teach you about inspecting boards, but I just wanted to show you that because, I mean, this is great, but it's probably showing too much to an employer at once. So if we come back out here, so I'm going to show you here how to provide evidence in context. Employers are busy people. They don't want to have to figure things out. So the more you can make it easy, the better it is for you. This is a tool that we tell our learners to use, and it's called a job match summary. A very simple idea. You take the employer's requirements that you would get from the job ad and put them in the left column. Could be laid out like this or differently. On the right column, you can line up your evidence, how you match up against his requirements, and hopefully it's a good match. And as relevant, you link out to evidence, and the evidence could be certificates of your learning, or it could be links to worksheets and things where you've written out some things, or it could be things like the video we were just looking at. In this case, it says testing and troubleshooting of sub-assemblies. Well, what better place to show him demonstrating how he looks at a circuit board. So that we think is useful for people to have. I'm just going to come back up to the top here, and we'll go in and show you the system from the inside. When you log in, you get, first of all, what's called the dashboard. This shows you the kinds of things you can do in the system. We have a course built up around to support our ePortfolio building, and I can show you how that works. What I'll do now to begin with is just show you initially the connection with Moodle. I was showing you that diagram about how the ePortfolio connects with the Moodle, and I'll just show you in practice how that works. We have the self-directed course. This would be for online learners, and the first thing we have them do is to fill in the so-called intake form. So they would click here, and from here we go to Moodle. So now I've been logged into Moodle, and I'm looking at this intake form that I need to complete. And I would just fill that in, go all the way to the bottom, and hit submit. And then I get another quick questionnaire, which is the self-assessment. I would submit that, and then go back to the course in the right place. I'm not going to do that. It'll just take too long. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the course, and for this I'll use the computer lab version. In the sort of face-to-face computer lab version, we deliver this course over 3 days, 6 3-hour modules, sort of half days. Session 1, we essentially introduce people to the idea of ePortfolios. We take their picture, we show them a free tool to edit their picture, so they immediately start having some fun with online content, and we get them to complete their profile page. That's that page when you click on the person's name when you're logged in that you see. That's the end of the first morning. And then in the afternoon, we start talking about video introductions, and we actually videotape them giving an introduction statement of themselves. They can use this or not ongoing. Some of them are really quite good, others not so good, but it's still useful for them to know how they're coming across to people. So we'll take them out one by one and shoot them in a nice way in a small room as they work through the other issues here, creating what's called a professional page. You recall that generic professional page that Romuald had. We teach them how to make a version of that. We start talking about evidence and hopefully get them thinking about more than documents, more than certificates, more than their resume. Start thinking about those pictures, other skills demonstrations they might be able to do. And then we get them to publish their professional page. This won't be complete, but they'll have now created a professional page on top of their profile page, and they now have a mini website that they may never have had before. We also talked about LinkedIn and how that can work for them when we show them later how to work that into their ePortfolio. So the middle day, we have them working through essential skills and thinking through their past and thinking what they did in previous jobs, in their families, on a volunteer basis, for example. And the kinds of skills they learned could be they were the treasurer for the local sports team and they learned Excel spreadsheets at that point, things like that. We talked to them about labor market information and how they can link to finding out more information about their occupation that can help them, provide them with good language they can use in front of an employer, for example. And then we start talking about things such as knowledge, skills, and attitudes, how to arrange several pages in a portfolio, and how to track your learning using continuing professional development. The third day is where they get to take it. This is the last day. In the morning, they learn ways of taking their ePortfolio to their next level. So they embed their video introduction that we've prepared for them. They perhaps have a bunch of certificates that they might want to display, and we show them how they can display certificates singly or as a bit of a slideshow, a simple slideshow. We talk about video and how powerful that can be for skills demonstrations and demonstration of communication ability. We talked to them about LinkedIn and how that how that can be embedded in their portfolio. And we also look at things such as Screener. This is how we've done similar to how I'm making this recording now. There's a free tool called Screener that you can record up to 5 minutes of yourself interacting with a computer and talking at the same time, so that you can display your knowledge and your communication skill. And you can use it to show, for example, working with software applications or web tours or even PDF documents. You can do a document tour as you're talking. And it's just more imaginative ways of thinking about evidence. And then, of course, SlideShare, SlideCast. This presentation or similar ones I've got embedded on a web page that I'll show you at the end. So that's in the morning. And then in the afternoon, it's time to move towards graduation, very short course. We talked to them about how to make that job match summary that I showed you. Talked to them about taking their portfolio from private to public or shared mode, how to use their portfolio in the process of finding a job, and then how to use it for other things such as life portfolios, knowledge portfolios. This portfolio page I'm going to share with you is an example of a knowledge portfolio. And then they basically present their portfolio to the rest of the class, they get a certificate, and they have a lifelong portfolio. So that's it for the demonstration. I'm going to pop back to the presentation here and just talk about where we're headed here.